What's up, YouTube? This is Damon, aka the world's worst magician, and if you are here, then I believe you want to learn how to thumb fan like a boss. So, do you want to learn to thumb fan? Sorry, I had to do it. I'll never do it again, I promise. So I guess the first things first, why is it called a thumb fan? In 1873, it was actually invented by Edward G. Thumb. No, I'm just kidding. You use your thumb to fan the card. So when you do it, you're actually pushing with your thumb, and that's what creates the fan. So that's why it's called a thumb fan. So let's get into it. The best kind of cards to use are going to be new cards or newer cards. If you have an old deck, the problem is the cards can clump a little bit, and if they clump, you're not going to get an even fan. So if you have an old deck, I would recommend you get some fanning powder. I have a tutorial out there on how to use the fanning powder or just learn how to use it, but if you use the fanning powder, it's going to give you an even spread. So for thumb placement, generally with a regular fan, what's going to happen is the cards are going to be in your left hand and you're going to fan with your right. So the placement of your thumb kind of determines the way the fan's going to look. So what I mean by that is if you have it here in the bottom corner, you're going to get kind of a larger fan. And then if you move up the card a little bit, you'll see that the fan gets tighter. So you can move up, or you can even move over to try and change the way that your fan looks. So thumb placement is going to determine the way that your fan looks. General thumb placement is just bottom left corner. And then the other thing is on the back side of the card, you can use either your middle finger or your index. If you use your index, you can tend to get kind of a larger spread versus using your middle finger. The way that I do it is I actually grip it with both, but that's just the way that I do it, and it's just so I can apply more pressure. So a big part of any fan is the amount of pressure, and there's 3 points of pressure. So the 2 points from this hand are going to be whichever finger you're using and your thumb. You're applying pressure to the corner. Now, the third part comes from the thumb that's actually going to do the spreading. So when you go to do the fan, if you don't apply enough pressure, the cards will not spread evenly. So let me do this with super light pressure just so you can see. So you see how wide it's getting and how the cards are not spreading evenly. And then if you put too much pressure, you may get clumping. Now these cards are, they're made for Cardistry and they're actually a pretty brand new deck. So I'm getting even fans even if I don't. But yeah, generally if you push too hard, you're going to get some clumping. If you don't push hard enough, then the cards are just going to spread too far apart. So you want to try and keep a consistent distance between each card. One important thing when you go to do the fan, so you're going to hold it like this. Let me make sure I'm out far enough to where you can see it. While you have it gripped here, before you start the fan, what you want to do is just rock the cards back until they are in this little gap between your thumb and your pointer finger. So once you've hit that, that's when you can go ahead and start the fan and move it around. And then something cool that, I've seen tutorials on thumb fans before. I've never seen anybody kind of really talk about it. It's just a silly little move that I like, but it looks super cool, is if you just start to move the cards, you see how they continue the fan there? So it's just something cool that you can do. If, you fan it and maybe it doesn't happen the way you want, then you can actually move the cards. So play with that one. Like I said, that's just something that I've watched other tutorials and nobody's ever really mentioned that before. And to me, I'm a nerd and I just thought it looked super cool, so I figured I'd let you know about it. So speed, you may be wondering, do I have to do this quick? I know that generally when you see me do a fan, I do it fairly brisk, but as long as you apply the correct amount of pressure, so I'm going to do this in basically super slow motion, and you can see the cards are still evenly spaced, the fan still looks good, and I did that really slow. So speed, it's just, if you want to do it fast, see, there's a fast one. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure you're applying the correct amount of pressure. So that's going to be something that you'll determine whether you like it faster or slower, and it's just based on your preference. But just remember, you have to use the correct amount of pressure. And when I say the correct amount of pressure, we're talking about where you're gripping it in the bottom corner and then the pressure that you're applying to the top corner of the cards. So, but I don't want to bomb you with too much information here. I just wanted to show you how to do a card thumb fan like a boss. So all that is just practice, 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 applying the right amount of pressure, and you don't have to squeeze that hard. So it's not like a crazy strong grip. You're just gripping hard enough to where the cards stay in place. That's all that's happening here. And then with the thumb, it's the same thing. You're just pushing so that the cards kind of pull each other along as they move. All right, well, if you have any questions at all, definitely leave them below and let me know, and I will get back to you as soon as humanly possible. But, you know, just watch this video a couple of times, pay attention to the tips and thumb placement there and the pressure, and you should be thumb fanning like a boss in like 1 hour tops. If not, don't worry about it. Just practice until you get it right. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. All right, see ya. And if you have any questions, magic tricks, or decks that you want to see reviewed, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. As always, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click that like button and subscribe for any future reviews. All right, see ya.